Welcome back to the channel. So today I'm over here doing a quick review of this reaction video to this baseball player that they say is supposedly like the best baseball player right now, Shohei Ohtani. So let's see what's the hype about him. I ain't gonna really say too much.
He's everything that they said he is and more.
They underpaid him. He worth a bill.
Is Shohei now on a different shelf than any other player?
All right, Scott, I have to clarify. He's the most remarkable player I've ever seen.
Did Shohei Ohtani yesterday have the best day in the history of the sport?
It was the best day in the history of the sport.
Shohei Ohtani is the first MLB player ever to hit 50 home runs and steal 50 bases in a season, the first MLB player ever to be an all-star twice in one season, the first MLB player ever to pitch a baseball 102 miles per hour and also hit a baseball 119 miles per hour, and he is undoubtedly the first MLB player ever to be unanimously considered the GOAT. This is the story of how an extraordinary Japanese boy became the greatest baseball player of all time. Born July 5th, 1994 in Oshu, Iwate, Japan, Shohei Ohtani knew from birth that he was made for the baseball diamond. He was obsessed with the game of baseball, and as a child, Ohtani was known as Yaku Shonen, also named Baseball Boy, a kid who lives, eats, and breathes baseball.
No bullshit, I was a baseball boy when I first started playing sports. That was the first sport I ever played was baseball. That's crazy. I was a baseball
And his
boy.
obsession paid off. In high school, at the age of 18, the already 6'5" Ohtani threw a 99-mile-per-hour pitch, which at the time was the fastest pitch ever thrown by a high school baseball player in Japan. Shohei had his pick at joining any team in the Nippon Professional Baseball League. But things weren't so simple. Ohtani came to contract dealings with a peculiar catch. He wanted to be the first two-way baseball player of the modern era, and he refused to sign with any team not willing to make his dream come true. A stipulation that some organizations were deathly afraid of. Shohei knew that his dream would make his baseball journey much more difficult, but being a two-way player was as much a part of him as his heart, his blood, or his pride. To strip Ohtani of being a two-way player would be tantamount to stripping him of his identity. So to keep his dream alive and well, Ohtani signed with the Nippon Ham Fighters, one of the teams that were willing to roll the dice on him being a two-way player, meaning that his professional baseball journey was officially underway. In 2013, at just the age of 18, Ohtani made his debut in the NPB, and right from the start, it was clear that Ohtani had fire in his spirit. But unfortunately, that fire had yet to carry into his ball play. In 86 games played for the 2013 season, Ohtani only hit 3 home runs and batted .231. His pitching was not much more spectacular, with a 4.02 ERA in 18 games. Granted, these are phenomenal numbers for an 18-year-old, but critics began to surface, claiming that the gamble to sign Ohtani as a two-way player was a complete and utter mistake. Isao Harimoto, a baseball critic, was quoted in 2014 saying, "Shohei Ohtani is being childish. His selfish desire to hit is taking at bats from real players, angering his teammates and keeping him from becoming the player he could be." At the time, Isao's statement had some truth to it, and the criticism meant that maybe Shohei's dream would never come to fruition. He was forced to ask himself, am I destined to be a two-way player in legend or a one-way player in mediocrity?
Why has no one ever told you that the active compound in honey can actually reverse cognitive decline and brain fog? It's a secret.
After 3 years of average ball play, Shohei entered the 2016 season needing to prove that a two-way player was possible, and boy did he. On the mound, Ohtani had a 1.86 ERA and 174 strikeouts in 140 innings. He also threw the fastest pitch in Japanese history at 102.5 miles per hour.
Nah, for real, it's crazy because to be a pitcher and a batter, yeah, you gotta be definitely skilled.
At the plate, he also batted .322 with 22 home runs in 382 plate appearances. Shohei's 2016 season was a complete breakout year on both sides of the plate and marked the first time that critics and coaches actually believed a two-way star was possible. By the 2017 season, at only 22, Shohei was considered to be the best baseball player in Japan, which made MLB teams such as the Giants, Dodgers, and Angels very interested in signing him. However,
Yeah,
one
everybody
major problem
knows.
stood in the way. Shohei wasn't a free agent until the age of 25, which would mean that to go to the MLB early, Shohei would have to do something extremely abnormal. He would have to voluntarily choose not to get paid a $200 million contract in the NPB to get paid the MLB minimum of only $545,000. See, to me and you, the decision to stay in the NPB until
The numbers
25
is
to get a
crazy.
guaranteed $200 million appears a no-brainer. But let's take a closer look at the man we are studying. Shohei Ohtani is obsessed with baseball and wanted to play in the MLB.
And we probably won't even ever touch a mil in our life. He's letting 200 mil off the table go, like, just to make it to the MLB. Like, yeah, that's crazy.
From childhood, even out of high school. He was making $2.4 million a year on the Ham Fighters, but chose to give control of his finances to his mother, who only allowed him an allowance of $1,000 a month. Shohei saved $20,000 during the 2 years he was making $2.4 million, which would mean in 2 years he theoretically only spent $4,000. Ohtani chose not to get a license because he said it would take too much time away from baseball to get it, and as the most popular athlete in Japan, he voluntarily stayed in the team's dormitories, which usually only rookies stayed in. All of these crazy and even laughable facts paint one crystal clear picture. We are not talking about you or me. We are talking about a player with the greatest work ethic and desire to play baseball that the world has ever seen. That is why on December 8th, 2017, Shohei Ohtani signed with the Los Angeles Angels in a 4-year, just over $4 million deal. A deal that Ohtani most likely took because the Angels were willing to make his dream come true of being a two-way MLB player. Ohtani was a fan favorite to start the 2018 season, and damn did he know how to make a first impression. In his first 4 games, he hit 3 home runs and took a perfect game into the 7th inning. And after only a few games, he was the favorite to win Rookie of the Year. In his first at-bat in Anaheim, he did the unthinkable.
That's out toward right center field. Going back on it is Zimmer. At the wall. Gone! Big fly, Ohtani-san!
Ohtani wasn't just surviving in the MLB, he was thriving. And the MLB world had Ohtani fever. In games that Ohtani pitched, there was an 11% attendance increase. And he had the 8th most popular jersey in his rookie season. Fans were obsessed with him. But unfortunately, as often happens, the bigger you are, the harder you fall. On April 17th, 2018, Ohtani exited a game in the 4th inning with a blister on his hand, which appeared to be a bad omen, because on September 3rd, 2018, the Angels announced that Ohtani would need Tommy John surgery in his pitching arm.
If you haven't heard, big news came down today is that Shohei Ohtani had an MRI. His elbow wasn't feeling great, and that MRI revealed that he needs reconstructive elbow surgery or Tommy John surgery.
Supposedly, Ohtani was so upset about his injury that he didn't leave his house for an entire week. He was still allowed to hit, and he hit great with an OPS of 925. But his identity as a two-way player was in extreme jeopardy. After all Ohtani had gone through to prove a two-way star was possible, right as his success was in his grasp, it had the possibility to all get stripped away. Entering the 2019 season, Shohei was not able to pitch because of Tommy John surgery, but his hitting was still very impressive. Ohtani hit 18 home runs with an OPS of 848 and an average of 285, including a phenomenal game on June 13th, where Ohtani became the first Japanese-born player to hit for the cycle. Things seemed to be trending up for Ohtani, until all of a sudden, they weren't.
Other news today in baseball, Shohei Ohtani shut down for the season. This is coming out from Billy Epler, Angels GM. Shohei Ohtani will undergo surgery tomorrow in Los Angeles to address a bipartite patella in his left knee.
Ohtani's season was abruptly ended on September 12th, 2019, with the need for knee surgery, meaning that in only 2 seasons and 210 games, Shohei would need to go in for his second, potentially career-ending surgery. Shohei entered the 2020 season with prayers of healthiness after rehabbing his knee and elbow, but was met with even more disappointment. In his first pitching start back on July 26th, he faced 6 batters and gave up 5 runs, not even recording 1 out. And on August 4th, 2020, Ohtani had yet another setback when he was diagnosed with a grade 1-2 strain of his forearm.
That's life. Humans are delicate creatures. Ohtani's body clearly was not built for the long haul. His arm was not.
Ohtani's body was literally breaking down from the demanding nature of pitching and hitting, and critics raved that it was time for him to choose just one. The upcoming 2021 season appeared to be the last season for Ohtani to prove that his dream was still possible. And prove it, he did. In 2021, Ohtani had what is considered to be the best single season of all time in any professional sport. Ohtani won the Silver Slugger Award, ESPY's Male Athlete of the Year, was listed as a top 100 most influential person in the world by Time Magazine, won MVP, had an OPS of 965 while also pitching with an ERA of 3.18, and won the People's Honor Award of Japan, which he declined for some reason. Ohtani was so good that he made the All-Star team twice, once as a hitter and once as a pitcher, and had become such an icon that there was an alternate broadcast in Japan during all Angels games that only filmed Shohei no matter what was happening in the game. Even if Ohtani wasn't playing, the broadcast would just film him on the bench goofing around. The weirdest part about all of this, though, is Ohtani was arguably even better at some points of 2022. In 2022, Ohtani pitched a much better 2.33 ERA, ranking him as the number 4 in Cy Young voting, while also hitting 34 home runs and batting with a 273 batting average. On back-to-back days, on June 21st and 22nd, Ohtani went 3 for 4 with 2 home runs and 8 RBIs, then a day later, struck out 13 batters and held the Royals to 2 hits in 8 shutout innings. Shohei Ohtani was quite literally superhuman in 2021 and 22, and his fame matched his talents. Ohtani had the highest selling jersey in 2022, and it was estimated that over 600,000 fans went to the ballpark in 2022 alone just to see Ohtani. In fact, an economist estimated that Ohtani alone generated $337 million in revenue. No single moment captures Ohtani's fame and capabilities more than that of March 21st, 2023, when this happened.
3-2. He struck him out! Ohtani strikes out Trout, and Japan's back on top of the baseball world.
Ohtani had struck out his former teammate Mike Trout in the 9th inning of the World Baseball Classic Championship, an at-bat that was broadcasted to nearly 50 million people, solidifying him as the tournament's MVP, a true two-way player, and the GOAT.
If I died tomorrow, I would want all patients with memory lapses lasting more than 2 years to know this.
Oh, really?
Starting the 2023 season on a high from winning the WC Final, Ohtani picked up right where he left off. In a doubleheader on July 27, 2023, Ohtani struck out 8 in a one-hit shutout in the morning game. Then at night, he went 2 for 3 with 2 home runs. Ohtani was hitting and pitching better than he ever had before, and was quite literally at the top of the world until tragedy struck.
I think that might be it for Shohei.
You hear the crowd murmur, and Shohei will come out of the game.
After being pulled from a game on August 24th, 2023 in the second inning, news broke that Ohtani would need Tommy John surgery for a second time. This was devastating news for Ohtani. But unlike his first Tommy John surgery, critics were no longer bashing Ohtani for wanting to be a two-way player, because he had already proven that his dream was possible. One article read, "The Angels pitcher's torn UCL has created a lot of unknowns, but his greatness is never in question," showing that Ohtani's identity had finally been accepted, injured or not. Ohtani finished the 2023 season with fantastic numbers despite his injury, and secured his second MVP. However, something was still missing. Ohtani at this point had never played in a postseason game, and with his value as a player more evident than ever, he entered free agency in the offseason, seeking a contract with a playoff-bound team that people predicted would be the largest contract in the history of sports.
Shohei Ohtani, the star pitcher, the star hitter, the superstar baseball player for the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, just signed a 10-year deal with the Los Angeles Dodgers for $700 million.
After signing the largest contract for an MLB player of all time, some nefarious betting from Ohtani's interpreter almost got him in trouble to start the 2024 season. But Ohtani began his new MVP and World Series campaign with vigor nonetheless. In fact, in his spring training Dodgers debut, Ohtani did exactly what you would expect he would do.
Swung out, hit high in the air to left and deep. This ball carrying, this ball is gone!
The Dodgers team and fans loved him, and it's hard not to when he plays like he does. By August of the 2024 season, rumblings were beginning that Ohtani could achieve something new, something that even he had yet to achieve. Ohtani was nearing 40 home runs and 40 steals, a feat that only 6 players had accomplished before. And on August 23rd, 2024, Ohtani attained the milestone in grand fashion by hitting a walk-off grand slam.
First pitch. center field. Series going back. He's at the track. He's at the wall. 40-40. Walk-off grand slam. No way.
Fans were obviously amazed and electrified, but instead of mobbing Ohtani with praise, they turned their heads to look at the calendar and said, wait a second, he might be able to get to 50. With less than 2 months of the season left, fans held their breath as Ohtani creeped down a treacherous and uncharted road. Carving out his legacy with each game, the home run and steals ticker rose. 43 home runs and 43 steals, then 45 home runs and 45 steals, then 47 home runs and 47 steals. At 48 home runs and 49 steals, Ohtani entered a September 19th night game, standing on a cliff looking down into the abyss of destiny. Ohtani started his first at-bat with a line drive double off the wall and a stolen base for his 50th steal, all in the first inning. He had a line drive single in the second inning to drive in a run and steal another base. Then in the third inning, he slashed another double into the left center gap to start the day 3 for 3. Truly knocking on destiny's door, Ohtani drove a deep home run to right field for his 49th home run, one away from the 50-50 milestone and one away from the Dodgers franchise record. Ohtani was far from finished though, because in the 7th inning, he did this.
On a 1-2, Ohtani sends one in the air. The other way. Back it goes. Gone! One of a kind player.
Ohtani had broken the Dodgers franchise record and started the 50-50 club with one swing of his bat. But he still was not done yet, because on his 6th at-bat of the night in the 9th inning, Ohtani did this.
Watching this guy. Oh my gosh! Shohei Ohtani! The greatest day in baseball history!
I mean, just listen to the announcer's reaction. We all witnessed true greatness that night. At the time of recording this, Shohei and the Dodgers are on the hunt for a 2024 World Series ring, with a high likelihood of achieving it. But the reality is, ring or not, Ohtani is the greatest baseball player to ever live. To emphasize how true that statement is, an MLB pitcher normally arrives 6 hours before a game, and so does an MLB position player. That means that Ohtani, who trains to do both, does the equivalent of 12 hours of baseball a day, yet he could still hit better than 2-time MVP Bryce Harper and pitch better than 1-time Cy Young Corbin Burns. He is truly one of a kind, a dream catcher for becoming the first two-way player of the modern era. And even if his career continues to be hit with setback injuries, it is clear that this extraordinary Japanese boy has earned the title of the GOAT. Thanks for watching our video on Shohei Ohtani, and if you liked it, stick with Batter's Box and check out our video on Aaron Judge titled How a Farm System Scrub Became the King of the MLB. See you there.
One spoonful of...
Yeah, so... I don't really even see no debate, you know. He's actually pretty nice. But I don't know. Y'all leave y'all opinion on there. So thank you for tuning in for another reaction video. Stay tuned for the next one. Hope everybody has a good day. Peace.